everybody, this is Newfie Steak. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at something a little different. I actually wanted to show you guys my favorite sliders for NBA 2K19 Myleague that I find give the mode a little more sense and make it a little more fun to play. I looked around for that kind of stuff for a while and couldn't see a whole lot of people's opinions online, so I figured I would make mine after I figured it out and show you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to set these and I'll be back with you when I get them finished. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is the salary cap. So the way that the NBA is now in real life is that pretty much every single team is in the minus in salary cap. Now, that's due to the NBA having all these rules with re-signing players for discounts and a whole lot of exceptions and all that kind of stuff. Now, that's fine for real life, but in a game, we want to do this to have a little more fun. But at the same time, we don't want it to be overpowered to get too much money. So I'm going to take a look at the salary settings here, and I will show you guys what I come up with. Okay, so starting with the salary section here, I'll give you a quick look at these sliders. We got min rating 60, max rating 60, salary curve 40, player potential 60, player durability 40, player minutes 60, player fame 10, and player non-financial ambitions at 50. So the point of doing this was that I wanted to, first of all, start by lowering the max contract, because no players need to make as much as they do. I used Durant as an example. Instead of the 43 he originally wanted, it's about 10 million less. And you look at Curry, he also wants about the same contract as Durant. That's fine for the super high rated players, but the issue wasn't so much with them. The issue was more with the low 80s middle of the pack players. So for example, let's look at Steven Adams. Instead of wanting 18 million, now he wants 16.6, 16 and a half. So all these middle of the pack players are going to want a little less than they would have before. Chris Middleton, instead of 17.6, he's at 16.3. So it's about $1.5 million less. This is really important because it seems like in these 2K games, players get older, but their overall doesn't decline as fast as young players' overalls get better. So what I mean by that is if you play in my league for a couple of years, you will notice that the average team will have a team full of 80 overalls, where at the start, like it is now, near the end of the bench, for the most part, you're going to have your middling 70s. So players will keep getting better and they'll keep asking for the same amount of money as they had before, but there's so many higher overalls that there's no room anywhere for people to sign them. So it causes a big issue, but this should solve it by giving you a little more salary room each year from these middling players, so you have the space to re-sign your players better, or maybe go after another big name. Okay, onto the trades section. I personally like to turn off the signed restriction, traded restriction, rookie signing restriction, and the step-in rule. So, again, this is my preference, but I feel like you should be able to sign and trade players. You should be able to trade and then retrade players, or trade your rookies on draft day. And to me, the step-in rule is kind of stupid, because if you're starting, you don't want to have to deal with the issues of previous years. Now, if you're going for a hyper-realism playthrough, maybe you should leave this on. I also like to turn off previously traded draft picks if I'm doing a fantasy draft, or in some cases even not. But if you're going for a realistic playthrough, you would want to leave that on to actually sit you in the GM seat of a team in its current state right now in real life. Also, I find injuries, you get hit with way too many injuries in this game, so I do change that a little bit too. I changed both CPU and user injury frequency down to 30. which is not too low that you don't see very many injuries, but it just tweaks it back a bit because, I mean, in real life, you don't have players getting hurt for weeks too often, like having multiple players gone for long periods of time, and it seems like that happens a lot in 2K. Gameplay difficulty depends on your actual abilities, and I find this other stuff is pretty well balanced for 2K, except if you are doing a fantasy draft for a short period of time, you may want to turn down chemistry, effects, and difficulty, because if you do a fantasy draft, nobody's going to have chemistry with each other. If you're doing a GM mode, I find morale difficulty should be a little lower because it is just a headache to manage all the different players. And I think that is gonna do it. I'm gonna take another quick look through and see if there's anything that I missed. Obviously, quarter length is up to you, however long you want to play. Rule changes on, but I usually do decline most of the rules unless there is a particular one that I actually do like. And I turn the hard cap off because in real life NBA there is no hard cap, so I find that takes it a little closer to the real thing without giving you something overpowered. So this is what I use. I don't tend to touch these down here in the trade section. These are pretty complicated, and I still have yet to really tweak all of these. I would need to take hours to look through this and see what these all actually mean and how good they all are. But for right now, this is what I like to roll with. So if you guys like to do something different, you can let me know in the comments. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I wanted to show you what I use, what I like, and what I find good. Also, gameplay difficulty, that also depends on you. But that is going to do it, so I hope you guys liked it, and I hope that you use these sliders and it works out for you guys. So thanks for watching, and let me know how you like to differ your sliders. Thanks guys, see you next time.